On this episode of Muy Criollo, we'll be talking about ceviche. Kind of. You see, Ecuadorian shrimp ceviche is very different from your standard ceviche. What defines ceviche? Well, it's usually raw fish or some other seafood marinated in citrus juices for a long time so that the acid cooks the fish and makes it safe to eat. Well, Ecuadorian shrimp ceviche doesn't really fit into that definition very well. The shrimp is cooked before it's added to the ceviche liquid, and it's added right before serving, so it doesn't marinate long at all. The liquid is mostly citrus juice, but there's a few other flavorings as well that aren't usually associated with ceviche. But at the end of the day, what matters most is that it's delicious and a very refreshing way to enjoy seafood. Before we start our ceviche, I want to talk to you about toasting corn, also known as Cancha Corn, which we'll be using to make tostado. You can think of tostado as similar to popcorn, except it doesn't turn inside out like popcorn does. It's a popular snack in Ecuador and we'll be using it to top our ceviche. If you can't find cancha corn, you can substitute popcorn. Making tostado is a bit more involved than making popcorn. First, get some oil hot in a pot. Then we'll throw 2 cloves of garlic in there, along with 2 cups of corn. Cover it and wait to hear some popping. It won't be quite as loud as popcorn, but if you listen, you'll hear some movement. Once that starts, lower the flame to medium and start shaking it every few seconds. Don't stop shaking it, you want to make sure the corn toasts without burning it. Take a look sometimes. You can see it's starting to toast, but it's still a little bit pale. After a few more minutes, it's browned nicely and we can take it out. Place it in a tray or bowl and lightly sprinkle some salt. Just make sure not to accidentally eat the garlic. Now it's time for the main ingredient of the ceviche. Now it's time for the main ingredient of the ceviche, shrimp. You can use any size of shrimp. I personally prefer the jumbo sizes. I recommend getting ones with the shells on, since the shells have a lot of flavor, and cooking the shrimp with the shells on makes them a little bit more flavorful. But if you're feeling lazy and you get them peeled and deveined, I don't blame you. To cook them, we'll quickly toss them in boiling salted water. Let them poach in the water until they've completely turned pink. If you're using jumbo shrimp like me, then let them sit even a minute or 2 longer before taking them out. Shock them in cold, salted ice water and stir them around a bit. Let them sit in the cold water until they're no longer warm, then take them out. Now, peeling the shrimp is easy. Look at their little legs. Use those as a handle, from which you can pull off the shell. Work your thumb under the shell and peel it off. Throw the shells back in the pot of water you used to cook the shrimp, so we can make the shrimp stock. Now I like to leave the tip of the tail on because I think it looks nice, but that's just personal preference. Once you've peeled all the shrimp, bring the pot with the shells back to the stove and simmer them for about 15 to 20 minutes. Now to devein the shrimp. Cut along the top of the shrimp to expose the vein. Try not to cut too deeply or you'll cut through it and make it harder to remove. Peel open the shrimp to see the vein. Sometimes you'll be lucky and there won't be much to take out. I like to use a paper towel, and when I take out the vein, I wipe it on the towel instead of getting my cutting board dirty. You can remove it with your fingers or the tip of your knife. Sometimes the knife is better because it can be hard to get it out with your clumsy fingers. After you're done, place the shrimp back in the fridge and with a clean board, start to slice 1 red onion. Cut the slices as thin as you can. Put those aside and next we'll juice 4 lemons. We want about a cup of lemon juice for this recipe. Strain it and pour it in a bowl. Next we'll juice 2 oranges. Same as before, we want a cup of orange juice. Strain that and add it to the lemon juice. Next, we'll turn off our shrimp stock. Strain that into a measuring cup. We want 1 cup of stock for this recipe. You can save the rest for making soup. Now we add the cup of shrimp stock and half a cup of the most unique ingredient here, ketchup. Yes, we add ketchup to our ceviche. It's good. Whisk that together, then add a splash of olive oil, some salt, and some pepper. Make sure to taste it. It should be very tart, but not unbearable. Kind of like lemonade. Lemonade with ketchup in it. Now it's time to chop some cilantro. I got this variety because it comes with nice cilantro flowers. You can save those. Or you can use regular cilantro. Either way, chop it up finely. And we'll add the cilantro to the ceviche broth. Finally, to assemble our ceviche, we're going to place the shrimp in a bowl. How many is up to you. Are you looking for an appetizer? Or do you want this to be a full meal? I'm leaning towards a meal, so I'm putting quite a few shrimpy boys in there. Mix in plenty of sliced onion with them. I'm gonna throw in another few shrimp since I'm pretty hungry. Next, ladle in your ceviche broth, enough to mostly cover everything. But don't overdo it with the broth, because most people find it too intense to drink it all. Finally, sprinkle a handful of tostado over the top, and you're done! One shrimp ceviche. Have a great day, and thanks for watching. Hey Elvis, I got you something. They're flowers. They're for you. They smell nice, don't they?